Okay, we're gonna get started. I feel like I'm teaching a college class. This is very fancy. Um, hey everyone, I'm Treyce. I'm a designer at Carbon 5. We're gonna do some fun stuff. Has anyone used any of Flinto before or Sketch before? People have used Sketch before. Is everyone designers or other things? I know you're not, Lyndon. Other things? Anyone? Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's mostly, Sketch is just sort of like a necessity. We're going to be using all Flinto. You just have to export it or import it. Anyway, you'll see. So if you have your Sketch file, everyone have this open? We good? What you're going to do is you're going to go into Flinto and start a new project. And then you're just going to hit this little import button here at the top. And it will magically know what you have open in Sketch. And so you just import in the 3 artboards, and I'll take a second. Yeah, so it's the Sketch file that you downloaded. Yeah. And then you'll import that. And then you'll want to, I have mine set at an iPad size, which is not correct. So you can go in and adjust here. I think it's just an iPhone 8 will get you the right size. Okay, does everyone, we're still waiting on you. I will show you what we're gonna make. That would be helpful. So we're gonna learn how to make this today. Let me get to the home screen. So we're gonna learn how to do these little swipe transitions, which look pretty exciting. And we're gonna learn how to do like transitions between screens, which it looks pretty simple, but it's a little more complicated than you think. And then we're gonna learn how to make one of these little drawers pop up and disappear. Yeah, and then I figure it would take maybe like an hour to get through all that, and then we can, I can just be available for a little bit longer, maybe like half an hour after that or so, and you guys can just work on stuff or keep working on this. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go through it again. So if you have to have Sketch open with the file. And then once you have Sketch open, you go into Flinto and hit this import button that's at the top. And as long as that's your only Sketch file open, it should just import it right away. It's not finding yours. Let me look at it. It shouldn't need to. You should just be able to. Oh, it's just thinking forever. Is the Sketch file open?
Yeah.
Here. It might need to be in the same directory.
Okay.
And it's working fine? That's weird. Where import? Yeah, maybe just try that. Yeah. Yeah. It's all good? Okay. And everyone else has got it working? We can wait for a minute. You guys got it all working, yeah? Oh, you might need to upload your sketch. Cannot be opened. This document was created. Yeah, you just need to upgrade. Yeah, you can get a free trial of it. Yeah, so that should work out. You guys are good? Everyone back here? Got it all figured out? Okay. We'll keep moving forward and I can help you once you get it all set up. Yeah. Okay, so the first couple of things about Flinto that are interesting, they have two sort of sets of like features that you can use to create the transitions and interactions, and one is called behavior. So that's this one, and that's used for creating interactions on the same page that you're on. So like that, oops, I closed it, which was silly. But like this was made using a behavior. And then the transitions are to move between screens. So these all were made with transitions. And it's pretty similar to Sketch in a lot of ways. It looks really similar. You have layers, and it imports the layers just as you have them in Sketch. An important thing is that Flinto likes to group things and have layers differently than Sketch. So however you like organize your Sketch files, when you put it into Flinto, you're gonna inevitably have to like reorganize the layers to group things into like how they move around, which is often different. And that's like one of the big like problems I had starting with it was making sure my layers are right for Flinto, and that like anything that's not working, usually it's because your layer's wrong. And it has a little side panel, just like Sketch, to edit properties of things. Like you can edit pretty much anything about the elements that you create in Sketch in here. Like I can change the color, the radius, pretty much everything. So that's really good because you can add, like you can animate things to change colors or sizes, or the drop shadow could be different, so like hover effects could happen. Anything can be changed, and a lot of the time you make something in Sketch and then hide it, and then it like appears later. So for example, on my little example that I made, the little drawer that pops up here, I made in Sketch, and it's over. The layers are over, they're on top, if that makes sense. And then I have them set to opacity 0, and then we'll just animate them to be opacity 100 later. Anyway, what should we do first? Is anyone excited about a certain thing? The little carousel? Okay, yeah, that one's super easy too. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, I've already grouped them together. They're this thing called group 4, because I'm great with my layers. Or whatever, we'll just call it group 4. And so what you're gonna do is just hit the behavior button at the top. It does. So one thing that happens when you make a behavior is it gives you this little behavior designing screen, and anything that's not in your behavior gets blurred out like this, which kind of sucks because you can't really see what's going on the rest of the screen. So like if you want to align this to the text that's here, you kind of either just have to guess or you have to put it in the behavior too, which isn't a problem. You can totally do that, but it gets a little tricky. So I'm actually going to do that. What happens when you make a behavior is it puts it into one of these little purple folders, and that's your behavior group. And if you ever want to delete it, you just ungroup it, which is pretty simple. It gets rid of the original group that you made, which is a little strange. Like, if you remember, it was group 4, then I made it a behavior, and then I ungrouped it, and it splits everything apart, which is a little weird, but just kind of know that moving forward. So I want to put the our recommended products for you text in the group too. So I'm just gonna select all of those. You can select all with Shift and click. If you didn't know that tip, now you do. And you can hit behavior. Before I go any farther, did you get it downloaded? Okay, has it imported? Okay. Oh, you're great. Yeah, you'll hit the save and exit button if you ever want to go back. There, up there at the top. That'll exit you from the, yeah. Any other questions? Does anything come up for anything? So if you do, and just raise your hand anytime. What you're gonna do is create, these are like your states up here, this little screen. So you're gonna create new ones for every moment in your interaction. So we have a carousel of 3 things we can swipe through, so we'll need 3 states. It automatically names the first one initial, which I find useful. And then you can go ahead and name these whatever you want. So this is like middle, and this is end, or you can name them however it makes sense to you. And then all you have to do is, in middle, you just drag the elements to be where you want them to be, or have whatever sort of change you want them to have. So we could do all sorts of fancy things, like we could make it disappear, we could make it bigger, we could make it spin, but we just want it to move. So I'm just gonna grab all 3 of these and shift the alignment, so the middle one is in the middle. And then in the end, I'm going to do the same thing and put the end one at the end. And then you can see if you click between the 3 states that it just moves for you. Does that make sense? Keep them from going everywhere?
Like, how did you move them so smoothly?
Oh, so I select them and I hold down Shift and then I move them. Look, it didn't even work then.
But you didn't do anything
Oops.
with them on the same, like...
Yeah, you should just be able to swipe those. Is that, or move them?
No, I'm just like...
Is that doing okay?
accidentally ended up out of my group.
Oh yeah, if you get out of your behavior, you can just click the behavior button at the top, select your group, and then hit the behavior button at the top, and that'll take you back.
Middle,
Yep.
and then I do...
Shift. Yeah, Shift will select multiple things. Whoops. Sorry, my mic fell off. Is everyone this far? So you can see these things move. Let me see. Yeah, you'll want to select. So you can select all 3, and if you hold down Shift, it will. Yeah, and then you can just move them. Yep. Yep. So then the next step is to draw what they call links. So what you can do is you can say, okay, I want to, when you're on the first card, you can draw a little link that takes up the whole space. And you give it one of these preset interactions here. It's pretty small and kind of hidden. I think it's up there. So what you can do is say tap. They have all sorts of built-in ones already that are sort of like pre-built for your iPhone. So you can do stuff with 3D touch if you want. If you're doing a web app, they have mouse over and mouse out. And also tap will work as click. Also, it's sort of synonymous. So we want to have it on a swipe. So there's swipe left, swipe right, up and down. So we're going to swipe left, which will send it going the other way, right? And when you do that, you want it to go to the middle screen. So you take this, and you have a target. See that? And you'll pick from the drop-down which screen you want it to take you to. So you just say middle. Yeah. Up here at the top, it says draw link. It's like, yeah. So once we get that far, we can, we'll save and exit, and then we can play around with it and see if it works, which I think it should. And I can come around if anyone is having problems. Everyone good? You figuring it out? Yeah, so here you are. And so, whoops, there we go. It's working. So let's just delete that one. Over, draw. And then you can draw it right like this. Does that make sense? And you can just make it as big shaped as you want. Everything good over here? Yeah. Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, that's what we'll do first, is just link to the middle. And then I'm gonna hit save and exit and hit preview and see if we swipe left. Yep. Did everyone see that? It doesn't have anything else on it, so it won't, I can't push it back. Yeah, it'll get stuck until we add all the other ones. So then let's go back into our group and add the rest. So I'll walk you through it, but if you guys want to jump ahead, if you think you can figure out how to make it work, please do. The middle, I'll say the middle one is a little tricky, so I'll do the end one first. So it's the same exact, process for each one. But the last one will be a right swipe, and it's going to go to the middle. And then, so for the middle one, because it has two, you can push it two ways. What I usually do, and people have different ways of doing this, but I draw two links that are just like half the size. So if you had something with more than three, you can just draw two and have it. So this one will go to the initial, and then the next one will go to the end. And they'll have different, one will be swipe right and one will be swipe left. Whoops. Yeah. To do them, because it has two, you can push it two different directions. Yeah. So you need two links to push it each way. Does it work the other way? Oh, really? You taught me something. I didn't even know you could do that. I usually just do this. Wait, how did you do it, Alex? Wait, let's try it. So let's put one left. Then how do you add a gesture? Oh, I see. Wow, I've never seen that before. Look at this, guys. So look, so what? This will be end, and this will be initial. Okay, wait, let's see if that works. I've never done that before. Whoop. Oh, I had them backwards. Two. Okay, let's see. Whoop. Awesome. Alex, that's great. I never saw that button before. How's everyone else doing? Is it working out? Cool. Everyone's doing good. So that's behaviors, and we can do later, we can set it up to do some more stuff. So behaviors are for anything that's on the same page, so we'll use it again when we do the little card that flies up in this one. This is a behavior also. So why don't we, since we did behaviors, why don't we do that next? So I have it hidden here. If you see really, really, really small, this layer called screen, I have it hidden. So you'll want to unhide it, and you'll want to make the opacity 0. But before we do that, you want to see this make a payment. Since we want it to have that nice like slide up effect, you want to just push it down off the screen. And it's like an interesting little test. You can make it go really, like if the farther you push it, the longer it'll take to appear. And you can also adjust like the timing on it. So we can play with that a little bit, but I usually just stick it like right below the end of the screen. It seems to work fine. And so then you'll want to make this whole group 0 opacity. That make sense? Yeah, let's do it again. So how I had it set up was the make a payment little drawer was halfway on the screen. So you'll want to drag that down off your screen.
So just that.
Yeah. Yep, and then the rectangle's the sort of like black screen that goes over things. Yeah. Oh, so you're dragging the wrong thing down. Yeah. So see how it's hidden? You want to switch that, and then you'll want to drag this. And another the other thing. Yeah, and then you can push that down. Didn't you get it? So it's this thing that's hidden. You'll see like on the side there's a really, really tiny little eyeball with a cross through it that you'll have to unclick. Yeah. Yeah, and then the like little dark screen will sort of fade in quickly.
It needs to be opacity 0 even if it's off.
The make a payment doesn't need to be opacity 0, but the dark screen will need to be. And so I usually just make the whole group like disappear, but you could just make the black screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this the make a payment.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so the make a payment thing doesn't need to disappear, but I usually just make, if anything's gonna appear at all, I usually just make it all opacity 0 and then bring it up when I want it, just to make sure it doesn't like weirdly show up, or like to make sure I haven't missed something because like I didn't look at it right. Did everyone figure it out? Are we good? Good to go? Okay. So then the thing that says screen in all caps, you'll click that into your behavior. And this part is a little tricky. So because, like I mentioned earlier, it makes everything else disappear, we don't quite know where that bottom bar is. And we're going to use the bottom bar later, so you can't put it into this group. So when I made the original one, I just spent a little while like guessing and checking myself until it was at the right spot. So we are going to do that again. So you'll want to make a new screen, and this can be called like pop-up or something. And on the new one, all you have to do is drag it. Oh, whoops, I did not make my opacity 0. Anyway, so on pop-up, you'll want to make everything opacity 100. Whoops, why is it 100 there? Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay. I need to ungroup this. Okay. So in my new state, I'm going to bring, oops. My computer is not happy with me. Okay. So you'll want to bring the opacity up of both of those objects in the new state, and then drag the make a payment up. And I think the black line, I might have been smart and made that black screen, and at the top of the tab bar. I also just realized I made a mistake. We need to add this other make a payment. So this is sorry. So part of a behavior is the thing that you tap or interact with has to be in the behavior group also. That's what I left out. So we'll want to put this button that says make a payment into that behavior group. And since those behavior groups work just like regular groups, like you can just drag things in and out of them as you want. You don't have to ungroup them or regroup them all the time. Does that make sense? So I'm going to just find this make a payment text and then drag that up into my behavior group. Then it disappeared because I have it turned off, but it'll be there. Does that make sense? Everyone follow? Okay, let me come around and help people because I realized I got off track a little bit. So you have your It looks like it's still totally fine. So you'll want to put that rectangle in the make a payment group, and then find this text that says make a payment, and drag that in too. Does that make sense?
So it's somewhere in one of these
It's
folders.
down there a little bit, and if you know how when you hover over it, that group, sorry, and then you can hit that little eyeball and make it go away. Then if you command click on the make a payment, it'll find it for you. Happening there, and then you just drag that up into the group. The text. Okay. You guys have some questions? Got lost when I got lost. That makes perfect sense. Okay. It looks like. It looks like.
I got the make a payment.
Yeah, this will totally work. The only thing is you'll want these two things to be, yeah, so you should just make the group can be in there, and then you can just turn off just those two items. Whoops, the other two items. These two guys can be opacity 0. Like that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. I think it'll work. How are you? Are you good? Okay, yeah. Okay.
So what were you just saying about?
Yeah, let's just make, for prosperity's sake. Oh, whoops. So there's that. Oh, I see. So you just dragged the wrong thing down. That's all. So if you drag that back up and put it like down a little bit, just under those little things. These three things, just drag it, keep going, yeah, somewhere down there. Then this little guy that has that I crossed out, that's what you want to use. So if you want to make them that and that 0, and then find that text, make a payment, and drag it into the screen group. No, sorry. So get rid of this for a second. And then if you command click the text that says make a payment, I'll find it, and you want to drag that into that folder. And then you'll just want to make that whole folder a behavior. You got it? I'm doing okay.
Almost.
Yeah.
So I just can't find that guy.
Yeah.
Players panel.
I made that super hard. So let's just lock these guys, and then if you command click anything, it'll find it for you. And just drag it up.
Just drop it in this.
Doing good? How are you doing? So you have your target set up. Yep, it looks like it should work. You'll want to save and exit and then preview.
Oh, maybe that's.
Yeah.
When I preview it, it only takes me to the first page.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So if you go back and then make this your home page, just click that little box. It will, now it'll, yeah, because we haven't set up the transitions yet. Yeah. You can make a link, Lyndon's got that, but you can also just set it as your home screen. That's what I usually do.
From the storyboard?
Let's see. Here, will you preview it? And then, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not used to your mouse pad. Where are we? You have this guy set up.
Yeah.
Make this the object. This is taking you to that.
If you
Yeah. Weird. Why don't you remake that one?
go, I will. I'll
Yeah.
do it the way you did it.
Oh,
at
you
first,
could
which was
do.
separate.
You can do either way. But come when you're done. Let me know. I'll come around again. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. How are you doing? Are you good?
Oh, yeah, I did it.
Oh, wonderful.
And I'm like really nerdy and I got really happy.
Oh my gosh, awesome. Okay. Wait, can I see? Oh, just click it? Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, how's everyone feeling? Good? Okay, let me get back. So yeah, some of you might have, who already did it? Who already figured it out? We got one person that already figured it out. Yeah, got it? Then, so I'm just gonna make my rectangle appear. That looks good. I'm gonna set, so there's draw a link. There's also this thing called create a link. And if you have an object highlighted and you hit create a link, that will make that little object a link, whatever it is. So I'm gonna make that my text the link. And on a tap, have it go to my new state. That makes sense. I know we're all at different places. It doesn't like. Yeah, why don't you try it the other way? I think that'll probably, maybe that'll help. How are you guys doing? Did it? Yeah, you just gotta like.
Like I can't tell on the.
Yeah, so if you go into the behavior and go here, yeah, make the rectangle, that rectangle, bring that up to the opacity. And then I usually like make my rectangle only like end where I want my thing to fly up. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think that, or no, sorry, you'll want it at the bottom.
Okay.
Or did your rectangle move? It looks like your rectangle moved. Okay, so if you save and exit and then go back out and put your rectangle where you want it. So find that.
This rectangle needs.
Yeah, and you can make it show up again and then. It requires a lot of like this. It's good software once you figure it out, but like it takes a minute to like get everything working the way you want. How are you doing?
So remind me what I'm trying to do here.
Trying to.
In a folder with the rectangle.
Yeah. So where is? So these two. Yep. And then where's that text that says make a payment? The text layer.
Let's see, let me lock this.
If you hold down Command.
Okay.
So yeah, drag that up towards
Yeah, I guess
the
that's the
lock
issue I'm
place.
having. It's in
That's weird.
that is weird.
want anything select.
So that's not normal.
This is not
Okay.
quite what happens typically. Yeah, why don't you save and then close it down and reopen it, and I can come back around. How are you doing? Everyone over here? You figured out?
I'm just not sure where I am.
You're totally there. So I would just move this, the black box to line up with the end of that
I'm not sure.
screen. So like, oh, whoops.
What do you mean by the black box?
This black box.
Okay.
So it's that dark thing, like the dark screen that's gonna come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we can just move that to there. So then you can line up your box later. And then you're ready to make it slide up. You just wanna make the rectangle. Oh,
Rectangle line.
oh wait, here 1 second. I see what happened. Let me. So you'll want to put it all in a behavior group. So you'll want to put yes, all of.
So. All of
Yep.
this,
Mhm.
And then, so.
And you just have to hit behavior, and it'll group it for you.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I did some of this and
Yeah.
so basically, I add a new state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You guys are good? Figuring it out? How's it going over here? Is it not still not working? I think it might be something with how you're.
Well, and I had to use
That it.
but
Be, yep. Yep. Oh, so see these links? They need to be on this page. So once you move, you need to have the link just there. See how you have them all? See, there's no links on this page? That's what it is. That'll help you. Yes. Yeah, that'll be good. How are you guys doing? Figuring it out? The little stack? That's what I'm here for. Okay. So, where are we? What does it look like when you move the... Yeah, so see this white line? Mm-hmm. That's your screen.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Yep, and so then that one needs to go up too. Yeah, yeah, I think that's really what it is. Let's take a look. If you save and exit and then, oh, but there's no links. So here, go back in your behavior and link it up. So when you click the text, the other thing will pop up. Sweet, and it'll take you there, right? Okay, yeah, that should work. Yeah, so first you're gonna click on like that up there, and you want to check it to be your home screen, and then you hit preview. And yeah, so you just want to realign a couple of those things, but it should work out. How are you two doing? Yeah? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, is it working? There we go. There we go. It's not too crazy. Oh, it's totally a learning curve, but. Yeah, you're doing good. You figured it out. And how are you doing?
I think I got it.
Okay, sweet.
If I can find it again.
So now you're going to, we're on this page, this one over here.
oh,
Yeah, and so what we're going to do is, here, we're going to make a payment little box fly up. And so what, yeah. Lynn, would you help catch her up with that? Because you got it working, right? Okay, sweet. Did you guys get it to work?
Yeah.
Sweet. Can I see? Whoop. Yep. Yeah, so you just want to scoot it down on so you just want to scoot that down. Or, you know what you could also do is just click this. Oh, and why is it 0 there? But it's showing up. Oh, I don't know, but you just knock it down.
Okay. So
There you
even
go.
outside of the behavior thing.
So when you're in the behavior, blah, 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 you imagine this initial screen as what's outside on those artboards, and if you want to change it, you have to change it there, which is it's like a weird mental model. How's it go? How are you doing? Yeah.
But when I go to preview, here, I guess I can't
Yeah, so what you'll,
get there yet because
yeah, we haven't linked it up.
okay.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
basically can't preview it working yet.
No, you
And
can't.
I also
So what you,
imagine I need to make a link to make it actually happen, right?
yes, you do. But so if you want to see where the screen you're on before you make a link, you can designate it as your home screen, and it'll pop up. Yeah. Yeah, and so then you can, yeah, you just have to make a link just like you said, and it'll work perfectly. You guys get over here. Good. You're doing good too? Great. Okay. I think we are, Anna, are you good? Okay, I think we're ready to move on, or we're close. We can give it another couple minutes, let people catch up. Let's see if mine works. Ooh, almost. You don't need it. I just have the gray screen over everything and zeroed out, and then I bring it back in later. It doesn't need to do the slide if you don't want it. It could do the slide, and it can also do. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Why can't I do that?
You got to be in the second one.
Well, I want it to be dark here. I
And
don't
light.
want it in
So
light there.
this one is just like, here's save and exit. The initial one is just what's out here. So you have to zero it out here.
Okay, so I do that.
And
But
the-
that zeroes out my make a payment button, so I've got to grab the rectangle.
Yep, you got it. You got it. Yeah, mine's almost working. Okay, should we move on to transitions? Are we doing good? If everyone feeling okay? Okay, so transitions are different, and what you're gonna do is draw a link. So if we're here on the dashboard and we want to go to the one that says payment, we draw a little link over it. And then what it gives you, like when you draw that link, it gives you these pre-populated transitions. So like things like slide up, slide down, or like pushing and appearing, that will, you don't have to make those yourself. It comes pre-made, but we're gonna make a custom one. So a custom transition, yeah. So I don't know why, I have to say where this is going. So you link those two screens together. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the draw link. Yes. How are you, did it work out?
At the bottom.
Yeah, it's on the, no, you're fine. So you just want to use the little draw link button and draw your thing. Yep, yep, totally. You totally got it. Yep. Everyone's looking good. You got it? Figured it out? Okay. So then we're going to, why is my new transition button not working? Okay, can everyone get to this screen? So when you can touch the little link that you made and then click new transition. So if you, oh, you're there, perfect. You're there, everyone. How are you doing? You just click that button, new transition. There you go. Yep. Okay. So it auto puts these two screens next to each other. Transitions usually give me a pretty hard time. They're like I find them to be a little confusing. I think the behavior designer is much more straightforward, and often when I'm actually doing this at work, I'll just make all my behaviors and then like talk to a developer about a transition and work it out with them, because I think it's a little harder to get your head around. So what we want is we want to go from the dashboard to the payment screen, and we can design that basically any way we want. The way I want to do it is sort of have like a slide, but not just a straight slide. I kind of want some certain things to like fade in or fade out. If you remember, we can look at it here. If you see, I have it set up for everything to slide, and then like the little title fades in and out. Do you see it? It happens really fast, but it moves and fades in the direction that I want it to. So, first thing we want to do is there's this thing, how you test it out is there's a start and end. So start you can't really mess with, and end is basically the thing you mess with, and it always auto defaults to having them slide like this, which is close to what I want, so that's really nice. A couple of weird things. I don't want the bottom nav to move, to look like it's moving at all, because that would be like if you usually on an iPhone app that doesn't move. And then I want the like status bar and this notification and weird profile guy. I also want that to remain static. So what we're going to do is find those in our layers, group them together, and then pull them out of the artboards so they sit on top of everything. So it's going to look like this. You have your bottom menu. You're just going to drag it up and out, sort of over everything. And then I have this nav up here. We're going to do the same thing. And then we do it on this screen also. Where's my bottom menu here? Right, so you see when I do that, it's going to automatically put it back to the origin point. Did you guys see how that happened? So if you look at my bottom menu here, when I drag it sort of above everything else, come on, why are you not doing what I want? I don't know what's happening. Okay, one second. So when you drag this bottom menu up and out from everything, it's going to move. Oh, whoops, I'm not at it. Yeah, and you have to be at the end. You have to be in the end section. Does that make sense? To make all of this happen. Yeah, so if you're at start, you want to hit Command-Z a bunch and then make it undo everything. That makes sense? A lot of this you learn from, I learned from watching people on YouTube do it and struggle through it, and then I'm like, oh, I see. I don't know why they designed it that way, but that's the way you have to do it. So does everyone feel okay? You got the layers dragged out and above? Yeah. Yeah, so you just want to grab the bottom menus and navs and bring them up on all of them. Yep. Yeah.
Create a behavior, I just kind of put the link on here.
Yep.
But it looks like you made a behavior and that you're in a behavior.
Yeah, so there's the two things. There's the behaviors and the transitions, and we're making a transition, yeah. So you'll hit edit transition, and it looks similar, but it's different. So then if you zoom out a little, like scroll out a little bit, yeah, and then hit end, you can see how yours is set up right now, which is interesting. You have it set to do that. So what I would do to do the thing we're gonna do, I would save and exit and delete it and then make it again.
So this says payment, but that's not supposed to go there?
No, it is. Yeah, that's the payment screen.
Oh.
So if you just delete.
So what are we, why are we doing this?
Because I'm just gonna demo to you how to do a different type of transition than what was displaying to you, and I'm not sure how it got there. So it's just easiest if you start over. So you can just hit delete on your keyboard.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And then draw the link again. And then I'll show you how to move. Yeah. Yeah, and link it to the same screen you had it on. And then new transition. Yep, and then you'll want to switch this to the end. Yep. And then what we're doing now is to make it appear like these bottom menus don't move around. You just grab the layer and you drag it all the way up above the end screen. Yeah, keep going all the way up. Yeah, so it'll look like how my layers are up on the screen. And then we're going to do that with both bottom navs and both navs and bottom menus on both screens.
So you can't see it on this screen?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay, or-
that's totally fine. I'll show you how to do it. We doing good? You guys got it? Figuring it out? You guys are good? Okay, sweet. We'll keep going forward then. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is at the start, you're gonna wanna make the bottom menu and the nav that are at the end 0 opacity, and then at the end you want to make the end bottom nav bottom menu and nav 100% and the start 0. And how you know the difference is next to them they have those little lines. The starts are blue and the ends are red. So when you're at start, you make the 2 red ones go to 0, and then when you're at end, you make the 2 blue ones go to 0. It's a little, let's see. Yeah, so you'll make the 2 red ones. So since you're at end, you'll make the 2 blue ones 0, and then, I think you did it, right?
Yeah.
Am I going crazy? Yeah, that looks great. That looks awesome. Got it?
So I want to make the blue ones passive.
You'll make the red ones.
Okay, the red ones.
Yeah, because
Okay.
blue is, yeah.
Blue is the start. Okay.
Blue is the start. So when you're at start, you make the red ones disappear, and when you're at end, you make the blue ones disappear. Don't have any red. Oh, yeah. So you just need to grab these 2 guys.
Oh, these as well?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Works for you? All is good?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So then, good for you. You're picking this, you're whizzing through this. Okay. So then what I have set up is to make it look a little fancier. I have instead of the dashboard and the payment just sort of replacing each other like that, I've set it up so it sort of fades away. So the dashboard is moving, to the left. So I just, at the end, find it, the word dashboard. Where are we? And it's in the nav. Oops. It's in your start nav. I just scoot it over a little bit. And then you can see it sort of like comes in and disappears with the way the screen is going, which is a nice little detail. And then you just do the same thing with the payment. You just knock it over the other way, and then it'll switch. Yeah, so for the sucky thing about the transitions is you have to remake it for every single time. So like, sometimes, yeah, so sometimes you can reuse it depending on what you're doing. It will save it for you and give it a name and you can apply it to things. But in this case, you have to remake it every time, and most times you have to remake it every time. So if you see here, like I have all of these links, and for each one, I had to drag those layers out and do exactly what we just did every time. Does that make sense? Once you do it twice, you get really fast, and it only takes like a second. And then it like pays off really fast because this looks very fancy all of a sudden, right? So I think yeah, so we have one more thing to do. The table will totally roll, and you can move it over there. Yeah. Please do. Okay, so we can, if you guys maybe want to do the same thing just on one other link, so you can get the hang of it again. So you can like link from payments to account. Or you could actually, you should just link back. Link from payments to home. And then we can go back and forth between the two screens easily. Does that make sense, what I'm asking everyone to do? Okay. How's it going over here?
Good.
Figuring it out?
We made some progress.
Yeah.
It's not giving you any more weird
Well,
headaches?
I've learned my lesson. So now I'm picking up things,
Yeah.
and like I realized arrow,
Mm-hmm.
find it there.
Yeah, exactly. See, you're getting it. You're totally getting it. It took me a long time to figure it all out. Like, I've been using it for a couple of years now. How's yours going?
Oh, good. Now I'm doing the other way.
Yep.
So when you're on payment and you want to go back to dashboard.
Yep.
So
And you just do the exact same thing, just over again. It's really boring. But it totally works. How's it going? Did you figure it out?
No, but it's cool at this point. I'm just kind of like
Okay, cool. How's it going for you guys? Yeah.
So these are the starts, and I want to set them.
Those are the ends. Red is the end. You can remember because it's,
Okay.
yeah. So
So these are the starts.
yeah, so you'll make the ends disappear. Yep. You'll make the starts disappear. Yeah, so you just go into they're in the navs. See, like if you made this yourself, you'd know where you put everything. It's a lot easier. So so dashboard is what you want, and you just want to scoot it over to the left.
This way?
Yep. And then and you do the same thing. It's in the same place. Scoot it over the other way.
This way?
Or no, other way. Yeah. And so then when you do it, you'll get that nice little shoot. There you go. Or were you linking them back? Did we put them the wrong direction? Are they sliding in? Oh, they're sliding in the wrong way. Whichever way you want to do it. But it would be, where are we? So this
I'm like
would,
back.
it would be the other
That's
way.
what, okay.
Right. Where'd it go? Where are we? We're at the start. So we need to make the end, which is the dashboard, and we want to make it over here.
Cool.
And then it'll do it. Yeah. Yeah, how's it going for you?
Yeah, got the first 2 pages.
Wonderful. Yeah, and then once you do it once, you just have to do it in the other order. How's it going? Yeah, good. It's looking, I mean, everyone's doing it. It's going great. How's it going for you? Good, figuring it out. Can I see? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, that's going good for you. Yes.
Like really quick, but you notice this like black line that happens there?
Yeah.
Is that something that's supposed to happen?
So it's because you have that space there.
Oh, okay.
So if you just push them, so just push this like right next to it. Yeah, I usually just do it with the little tickers because you can be a little more accurate. And then let's see, save and exit and see if it, and then see if it looks better now. Oh, it's still there.
I think it's because
I think it's on your other one. Did you guys get stuck? Can I help?
Well, we're seeing something really weird. She's got this modal like move way up in the new state, but then
And you saved and exited? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Weird.
if she does the preview, it like that high.
If you hit the if you hit the home button, it'll.
Oh, you have to like reset it.
No.
So hit home,
Okay.
and then.
And
Yep.
But it,
It's
she's
not
moved
coming
like
up
all
to
the
the.
way.
Just keep moving it up.
Like it's like as high as she
Tried
can
that
go.
like 5 times, like it's.
Let me see. It might have just been like way down there, and so it's looking like you're doing it a lot.
But like she even moves it and we don't see it. I don't know. It's strange. I
Edit
can't figure out what's
behavior.
going on because it's like
Can I see? Yeah. So see this little white line? That's your screen. So click
Yeah,
here.
but
and then the new state it's like
Oh,
all the way up.
weird.
So we're just not seeing it like reflect.
Yeah, I think that's just a glitch. I don't know why that's happening. But you made it happen. You know how to do it. It's just, it's being weird for you. Okay. How are we all, you guys ready for the next thing? There's just one last little thing, and then we can just hang out and eat pizza and keep working on, if you guys want to try to do any of your own work or something, we can do that. We good? Okay. So the last thing I want to show you guys how to do is make something scroll. So you can set things to scroll up and down. You can also do side to side, but the side to side scrolling is they just released and it's a little tricky. So it's their team. I've met the guys who make Flinto. It's 2 guys and they work on it like on the side. It's not even their full-time job. So when they release things, it tends to be pretty buggy. But I will teach you how to make a scroll. It's super easy. All you do is select the things you want to have scroll, and then you just click this magic button up here that says scroll group. And then in the side panel over here, you can mess with your settings. So you can have it have like a little scroll bar and the color that you want it to be. You can set it to be vertical or horizontal, whichever way you want to do it. There's this thing called overflow, and if you have the clip set, that's basically like, you know when you are on like your messages and you get all the way to the bottom and it sort of like lets you go a little farther and then it bounces back? That controls that sort of physics that happens. The auto version I think is like fine enough. You probably don't need to mess with it much, but it's in their help guides, they explain it pretty well. We don't need to get into it. So for this one, we'll just say vertical, and then the content, usually you might have to like adjust your content box a little bit. So that's how big the like items, the elements you made your group are and how much you can scroll within it. So you could make like the height really big and like send everything off the screen and never see it again and bring it back if you wanted. And then you have bounce, so that also works with like the thing snapping back, or you can have it directional lock, which is the opposite. So like you get to the bottom and it doesn't have that sort of nice physics. So if we make this my home page, you can see I've got a little scroll in there already. So you can mess with those numbers to like make the details look better. And we could also get fancier and like only make the scroll group the elements inside so that whole block doesn't scroll. So you could just make the things inside. It's just whatever you group in that scroll group will have the effect really easily. That's all I've got planned. That's all I had in my prototype, but I can just keep coming around and helping you guys. I think we have like half an hour more in here. So, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Let me grab a chair. My feet are tired. Okay, so go into your transition. Yeah, good. That's great. Yep, exactly. Cool. So you can start here. So what you're going to do is find your payments, which is in your end state, right there. And then you just scooch it over the direction like you want it to come in. So if you want it to move in that way, you sort of put it where it'll move that way, because it does like that auto moving for you. Oops. Ooh, see how it moves back and forth now? And that's it. So then at the end, you'll just go in here and make that dashboard over here. Yeah, and you could have them like, at first I was trying to make them, it sort of seemed like a little carousel, so I had one sort of like fly up and disappear at a Z angle, which you can do, and like, anyway, there's lots of stuff, but I thought since everything was sliding, you might as well make them slide too. But you could do anything. Yeah. Yeah. And then you could make the stuff scroll. You could also try like this interaction that we made here could be horizontal scroll group, and you wouldn't have that sort of like lock into place functionality, but you could go, it would be more fluid, yeah. So you could do that if you ever, you know like how on Instagram when you post more than one photo and you swipe and it stops? So that's sort of the thing we made, but if you ever wanted just like, if you look on, I think Instagram also, or Facebook, like when you can buy stuff, you can just like slide through all of them, and that has that transition. Are you doing good? Do you need help with anything?
Yeah, I started a new artwork.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna go and play and see if I can get like.
Yeah, awesome. And you can do stuff like you can make the shadows bigger, smaller, disappear. You can do all sorts of stuff. How are you doing? You totally picked it up so fast. Yeah, it's super nice. I really like it. It's really similar if there's another tool out there called Principle, which works in nearly the identical way. And so once you learn this one, you can sort of go between the two. It lets you they don't have like drag functionality, and Principle will let you do drag. Yep, there it is, animated design. And then there's another one called Framer, which like you can code in also. And so it's really, that one's even, I don't really know how to use that one. Yeah, so you can record it. So you can be like, look at your magic.
I've done that, and then, or can you upload like a shareable link?
You cannot. So, but you can, so you can export it as a movie or a GIF. What you can do, it's just a little trickier. So this is good. I totally forgot about this. They have this iPhone app. And here, I can show you how it works if you come over to my computer. Or I think you might have to be on the same Wi-Fi network. Basically, you can let me get on the Wi-Fi network. You can share, if you download the iPhone app, you can share the prototype to your phone and actually play with it if you want. Yeah, it's free in the App Store if you guys want to do it right now. If you just type in Flinto, you should do it. I totally forgot they have this. I'm so well prepared. there's not any way right now. Yeah, if you go to, it's just in the App Store. Yeah, so if they just have Flinto on their computer, then they can open it up and play with it, or you can record a video of it and send it to them that way. Usually I just am, like how we work at Carbon 5 is I'm always sitting next to the person or like in close enough contact that I just usually like do a screen share or like bring it over to their desk. And I'm like, what about this? Me and Lyndon were on a project not too long ago where I made this like crazy graph that I could show you guys. And when I was working on it, I would like call him over. Remember when I showed you the shares post graphs? So you gotta be on the same Wi-Fi network, and then it should just pop up. Same Wi-Fi network as your computer, and then go viewer. And then, I don't know, I don't know which one is yours.
We're gonna guess, and then we do preview.
Nope, it'll just pop up here, so I guess it's the other.
I sent mine to someone else, sorry.
Well, give it a sec. Yeah. You just type it into Slack. You're like, I made, because you can, when you're in like the behaviors, you can do a bunch of stuff with like the bounce rates. If you click on like the one of the things we made and go into the edit behavior. No, Lottie's super fancy. Yeah, from After Effects. Yeah, I've never used that before. Yeah, it's super nice. Yeah, so you can like.
You set it to UI kit, and then like you should be able to specify this.
Exactly. You can be like, I want whatever spring with a velocity and a.
Oh no! Look at that. That's the command.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You
I
just
never
type
knew
in,
what those
and
were.
then you can just paste it in the code.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, so you can figure it all out. Did you guys get on? Did anyone get it on their phones? Why is this not working? Oh, so you have to go into Viewer, this button Viewer, sorry, I know, and then,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. There we go, pair, here we go. There it is, and then it'll, anything that you did should work. There you go. We're all on the same Wi-Fi network. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot easier to learn it like yourself with the files that you make yourself because you know how to group them and you know what you want to do. I like reverse engineered this for everyone. But at least you have some exposure to it. You can think, once you get quick at it, it's really fast. Oh, I was going to show you guys some other stuff that I've made. All right, I made this guy. This is like a little header that animates. Whoops, why is it so small? So you can see like when I scroll up, some things disappear and come back. And this is all based on a scroll group. So like I've made all of this a scroll group, and then based on the position of the scroll, the animations happen to the header. You can see it's a little funky, but it works. That's all Flinto, yep. And then I also did some other stuff. We were working on these charts, and this like compares two things, two bar charts. So like when you scroll up, the little things, the lines grow, and you can see like all the numbers change too. Did it? Did it? Did it? Yeah, so the like sliders are really tricky to do. You basically have to, in the behavior, set like steppers in. You can't do like a smooth thing. So like this won't go, you can see like it sort of freaks out if I do it, but if you just sort of, it's just a left swipe that stops at a certain point. And then I can show you like that, those things turned into like their live, they just got launched the other day. Oh, let me hear 1 second. So you guys don't see my password. but I can show you it like actually became real. Lyndon, did you build the butterfly chart at all? No, you didn't work on that. But you can see, once my thing gets back on the computer, like Uber. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted. You can see like that little prototype turned into, you can see the header sort, it's a little buggy, but it sort of works, and that turned into this. So like that little prototype actually, and this took like 2.5 weeks for developers to build. It was really, I know Anna, you're like, it was really complicated. Yeah, like it was, the UI was really complicated, but then also it does a bunch of crazy math and calculates how much all these things are worth based off of how much money you're saying it's worth, and it does all this crazy stuff. But you can see like, so it's a pretty like, you can get like 80% of the way there for the stuff you want to make, and it works out really well. And it's easy to, one thing I've learned is like this header, when I designed the header, I remember Alex, the engineer that was supposed to do it, was like, I have no idea how to make that happen. And I was like, oh, well, just based on the scroll position. He was like, no, I have no idea. So you can do a lot in Flinto, and it gets really complicated really fast to actually make it happen. Like in that butterfly, like the little Flinto prototype I made, this probably took me like 2 hours to get right, and then it took like 2 weeks to actually make with code. It was really tricky. Yeah.
So do the developers get
I don't, developers? How do you feel? I don't feel like I can. Yeah. Yeah, I think what's fun too is like when a developer gets it like 50% of the way there, and then you get to sit next to them and be like, oh, it doesn't look good, and then you can like put your heads together. I think that's like the funnest part about making it, because what I envision most likely is too like complex and expensive to actually make. Like the client doesn't want to pay for it, and so then we have to like figure out what we can do that still looks good, that can be achieved quickly. It's important to always show your developers the prototype before your client, because then they'll get really upset if it can't be made. They accept, yeah, basically. I would say so. Like the first thing I made was, for this chart, was this. No, I do. So the first thing I made was this. So I was just like, something like that. I started out with just this mock-up that looked like this. And everyone was like, we don't get it. And then I was like, okay, it would be like this. And then everyone was like, oh, that's pretty kind of cool. And then they were like, well, what if it looked like what does it look like on the page? And I was like, it would look like this. And then this gives the developers enough information to get going. And usually we sit down and we talk about like sort of the details in like a user story that we write for them to work off of. Like it needs to do these calculations, and it needs to react in this way. And here's what happens if there's like a bajillion more fields than you expect, or sort of like iron out exactly a bunch of details together. And usually like when I draw these pictures, I don't know all those details. Like I don't have all the answers to all the questions, so those conversations are really helpful. And then after those conversations, I usually change stuff. Do you remember when we talked about this? and like how hard it was gonna be. Yeah, like you guys asked me questions. I was like, that's a great question. I have no idea what it would be like. Yeah, the developers, when they implemented the graph in the code, I wasn't even on the project anymore, and they showed it to me like a week in, and I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Like it totally did exactly what I thought it would. The header doesn't look quite right yet. You can see that little, yeah, that's okay. We'll work on that one. So yeah, that's it. We did it. We did it. Thanks for coming, everybody. It's so fun. We have a little bit more time, too, if you guys don't have to leave right away. And if you want to work on more stuff, I'm going to take my mic off so you don't all have to listen to everything I say. Okay, well. I did go to design school. I went to California College of the Arts in San Francisco.